The Ioway are a group, they're related to the Winnebago and the Lakota. Our language is a Siouan language. Um, our homeland was stretched from the southern Minnesota into northern Missouri originally. A lot of American Indians use shields, horseback. In our area in the Midwest, our shields were these bundles, these sacred bundles, and they were basically containers, rolled up hide containers that had different amulets from different animals, hawks, bear, buffalo. And I had occasion to go up to Milwaukee, and in Milwaukee they have a lot of the bundles and the notes. And so I came across the story there in the field notes. In one of the bundles, there is a piece of skin, and it's kind of long, kind of light colored. There's no hair left on it. And they said skin of unidentified animal. What's interesting about it too is that I've worked with hides a lot of my life, with buffalo hide, deer hide, bear, stuff like that when I was younger. It didn't look like any hide I'd ever seen. When I was working as an archaeologist at the Holland National Forest, there was a lady named Raylan Moore working there as a landscape architect. And she had done a book called East of Yellowstone. No, it was called West of Yellowstone. And she had talked about an animal that she had seen in a museum there, Henry's Lake. And she told me about it. She said it wasn't a wolf, it wasn't a coyote or a dog. She saw something that she thought was very strangely shaped, kind of a slope back to it. She didn't know what it was. Well, I began to think about what I'd heard about in our legends and this animal, and I thought, I wonder if this is the same kind of thing. Because she said it was sloped like a hyena. Our stories talked about being looking like a hyena. I thought, I wonder if. There are basically two kinds of theories about most cryptids, whether it's warak'in or even Sasquatch or anything. One is that it is a biological animal, that is flesh and blood, just really hard to see, maybe very rare, very furtive. That's one school of thought. American Indians, on the other hand, a lot of these creatures we believe to be not quite empirical. In other words, they're not entirely biological. They are things from another spirit world. Some physicists might say a parallel universe, things like that. The idea of string theory and multiverses is that there are many different parallel universes at the same time that sometimes touch. And it could be that some of these animals, for example, Bigfoot or Mothman, these kind of things that don't seem to be physical animals, might be edging into the multiverse idea. And there may be actual physical places in the backcountry, and even in small, quiet places that you kind of touch one of those realities, at least for a minute, and something on the other side sees you, and you see it. I think one thing is that Montana is still it's in its natural state compared to a lot of other places, and there are places for things to hide in the mountains, in the Badlands. I mean, you have Flathead Lake Monster, You have some of the Bigfoot stories that are on the High Line. You have UFOs, cattle mutilations up around Great Falls. Montana's actually got a lot of really strange things that have happened here. Hopefully, when you find out what this thing is down in Ennis, you'll see if it is indeed this thing of legend. But it does seem to be a biological animal.